Dogs, the perfect companion, but have you ever thought about why?
Why do dogs make such good companions, and how do they always seem to keep humans in such good moods?
According to NationalGeographic.com, when dogs are around, they often generate a feeling of happiness that reduces stress and extra tension that is building up inside of your body.
When your brain is accompanied by a cute dog, your brain's attention focuses on the dog and temporarily forgets its current complications, like stress and anger.
Dogs are very carefree and they have nothing to worry about, so they make you feel relaxed.
How do you feel about being a dog, buddy? Good answer. I'm sure we all feel that way.
They're very happy and playful and they listen.
Being a dog owner really teaches you responsibility, and it's a great way to put so much love and effort into a living thing that is going to be with you for quite a while.
The most enjoyable part about having a dog is coming home and having your dog being excited to see you and having your dog be excited for you to play with it, and just the company that the dog gives you.
They always have lots of energy, that's for sure, but they can snuggle and cuddle with you, and they don't talk. They don't really expect anything from you. They just want to be pet and fed.
Personally, I rescued my dog, so it does make me feel like a better person that I could take an animal that's been abused and bring them into a loving home and give them a second chance at life.
I think the most enjoyable part about having a pet dog is always having a companion around and never feeling lonely. Dogs are awesome.
Dogs are not just a pet, but a companion and friend that will always stand by your side. Their playful and carefree attitudes are easily passed on to their owners.
Ugly. Untalented. Fat. Dumb.
Not enough.
Fake.
Idiot.
Stupid.
Today, we are here to address one of the most important issues at hand, women empowerment. And how women, millions of women worldwide, feel self-conscious of their own body, feel self-conscious of how they look, feel self-conscious of how they are, of who they are, and if they are beautiful or not. You see, society sets these so-called standards, that you are beautiful if you are skinny, you're beautiful with blue eyes, you're beautiful with blonde hair, you're beautiful with brown hair. You are fat, you are ugly, you are too skinny, you are just plain up ugly. 60% of women worldwide feel self-conscious of themselves. And this is why they don't post beach pictures. 44% of people say that gym pictures make them feel guilty, and 39% feel annoyed by pictures on social media because it just makes them degrade themselves for who they are. 51% of women have avoided doing activities because they feel too self-conscious about themselves, avoid going outside because they feel self-conscious about themselves. We take a look in the mirror and we think we're not enough. We're not enough for society's standards that are placed up upon ourselves, or so we think. We feel the need to wear these products to hide our imperfections. We feel the need, because of society, that we should put on all this makeup products and extravagant clothes just to hide our true selves. We think we're only beautiful when we look like this. Yet slowly and gradually over time, because of society, we feel like appearance is everything. Who we are and what we look like makes up everything, and without it, you are absolutely nothing. Worthless, a piece of trash, and just a sore loser. But if you look closer, you will realize that it is those imperfections that make you beautiful. It is those imperfections that make you gorgeous, and it is those imperfections that make you, you. You most certainly do not need makeup to cover that up. Show them with pride, because you are beautiful. Remember, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. One woman feeling confident about themselves is a victory for millions of other women. One woman feeling beautiful is a step forth into a new future for millions of other women going through the same situation. Women empower other women. And that's a message you should take to heart. If you see another woman struggling to see just how beautiful she is, reach out and guide her. Reach out and make her acknowledge and realize just how beautiful she is for who she is and how she looks. And don't let society's standards just placed upon us define who she must be. All it takes is one mother, one sister, one daughter, one woman.
Life is like bouncing on a skateboard. When you're happy or excited, that means you're balanced. But when you lean too far to the left or too far to the right, you know what happens? You fall off your board. Because of fear, of your toughest moments, your sadness, and that you're scared that something's gonna happen to you. And that's okay. I've been in that situation before. Everyone has. You're not alone. You have your friends, your gang, your best friend, your mom, your dad, your siblings, your grandma, grandpa, cousins, aunts. They love you and they'll pick you right up. They'll grab your hand and say, hey, I want what's best for you. Go ahead and live your life. Just remember, even though when you're scared when you fall off your board, you have friends and family that will be there and support you and be there for you. They will always give you a big hug and tell you that they are there for you and they will support you.
I feel like I'm isolated from the rest of the world because of my differences, like I'm trapped in a cage.
Sometimes I feel like I have to change myself in order to be accepted.
I've changed myself so much to fit society's standards that I can't even recognize the person in the mirror.
Why must it be this way? Why must we feel this way? You should be able to
be who you want to be and be confident in what you are.
I'm Delaney and I'm the sophomore class president.
Hi, I'm Marissa Dunn and I'm ASB secretary.
So we did Plant 1,000 Flowers, and that project was to brighten people's day, basically campus beautification. I started out by just calling around local businesses like Home Depots, where I ended up getting the seeds from, and they donated them to us.
I helped Delaney pick out the flower seeds and decide which flowers to plant, and I helped plant the flowers.
We all came out here and we just pulled up some weeds and raked up the ground so that it would be nice and ready for planting, and then we just made it into little rows and put some seeds down and watered it, and then it was ready.
My favorite part was probably working with a bunch of kids that I haven't really met before, and I kind of became friends with some new people through planting all the flowers too.
My favorite part was getting to work with the Campus Beautification Club, because I didn't really know what kind of stuff they did on campus, but to get to work with them and see all their flower planting knowledge was really cool because they had a lot of good ideas and they contributed a lot to it.
I hope Plant 1,000 Flowers makes people think of Del Campo a little differently, like make it a brighter, happier place.
Bees are one of the most hardworking creatures on Earth. They gather tiny droplets of nectar, transforming them into liquid gold, also known as honey.
They travel about 50,000 miles and they visit about 2.5 million flowers to make 1 pound of honey. Honey, it's one of the foods that never spoils. I think they found even in Egyptian mummies, in the tombs, some honey. It was still good.
Honey is the most commonly used bee product. Raw honey, especially local one, is very efficient in treating seasonal allergies. Antibacterial properties of honey is used a lot for treating cold sores, and it's very helpful for children's cough. So a lot of cough syrups are made from honey. Propolis is a resin-like material that bees use to seal the unwanted space in their hive. It has anti-inflammatory properties, so it's used for arthritis. But one of the best qualities of propolis is that it has antibacterial, antiviral, and anti-cancerous properties. So as an antibacterial, they use it to treat and heal wounds. It's very useful for sore throat. So royal jelly has almost the whole complex of vitamin B, so that's very beneficial for your health. It can prolong your life and it improves your skin too. Of course, everyone knows about wax. Wax is used for candles to light up, and it's used a lot in cosmetics like cream, lip balms, hand salves, and burn creams, and a lot of other cosmetics. Bee pollen is full of nutrients like amino acids, vitamins and nutrients, about 250 biologically active substances that are very useful for your body. It has anti-cancer properties, it has anti-inflammatory, and it's a very, very powerful antioxidant. It have proven to lower heart disease risk, and it improves your cholesterol.
One of the benefits of honeybees is pollination. 1/3 of vegetables, fruits, everything we eat, it's get pollinated by bees. Imagine like if bees will disappear, like watermelons, almonds, cucumbers, all the berries, you'll go to the grocery store and all of these fruits and vegetables will kind of vanish.
Honeybees, among other pollinators, are responsible for the pollination of approximately 100 crops. Bees help us in so many ways, from honey to wax to the pollination of so many fruit trees. Therefore, whenever you see a bee, just remember the big impact they have on our lives.
Every time we pick up our cell phones to attend a call or answer a text, we don't realize how dangerous cell phones are. Some kids want cell phones because they think that phones are a sign of popularity and that cell phones are cool. But unfortunately, they don't think twice about the perils and consequences of having one.
Appropriate time to start thinking about a cell phone, it may be about 12 to 13, and at that age there should be very significant boundaries put on their use of the phone. One of our primary concerns about cell phone use in kids is obesity, because kids are sedentary when they're using phones typically, and so it keeps them from going outside as much, being as active as normal, playing in a more rambunctious way, which is really important for health. There's also some concern about cell phone usage and damage to the brain, or possibly long-term side effects like cancer, and that will probably show itself in the next couple of decades. And then another really huge issue is anxiety. It's shown that kids that have a very high use of cell phones have much higher levels of stress, anxiety, and depression, and particularly in the teen years when they're doing a lot of social media that allows them to compare their life to all their peers' lives. Another huge issue is addiction. So there's actually a lot of data that show that children can become addicted to doing certain things on their phones, checking their texts, posting on social media, playing games that become very addictive.
I don't allow cell phones in class because now it's just a lot of students trying to go onto social media, trying to go to Instagram, texting their friends. So I see the cell phones being more of a distraction rather than enhancing the lesson or the curriculum.
All of those things should not be difficult for children to do, and it turns out that they refuse to put their phone down.
If you're addicted to something like your phone and always being online on social media, that could be a real problem.
One other really unfortunate thing that I've seen a number of times now is that kids have trouble falling asleep because they're on their cell phone during the time they're supposed to be preparing for sleep.
Sometimes I get when my parents tell me to go to bed, I get my phone and then I hide it from my parents, and then I just watch on my phone while I'm sleeping in my bed.
And so many kids, if they're allowed to be on the cell phone or an iPad or something like that prior to sleeping, they will actually not be able to get restful for a long period of time because they've been looking at that screen. It seems completely inappropriate for an 8-year-old to be carrying around $700 to $1,000 piece of equipment. Number one, they're likely to lose it. Number two, it gives them access. If it's unregulated, it'll give them access to everything that's on the internet. So the boundaries regarding the use of cell phones, it's the boundaries that we have to establish. And kids themselves will start clamoring for a phone around age 7 or 8 because somebody in their classroom already has it. I'd say don't let peer pressure make you want a cell phone, because it's a lot of times a 7 or 8-year-old child just has no business having something like that. It's not what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be playing and having fun.
And that's why I changed from wanting a cell phone to avoiding them for now.